just being here when everything starts is, as I would say with understatement, exciting. It's more than that. It's a really highly emotional moment in which you have just to be very proud just to be here. You have a lot of anticipation for what will be happening soon. And at the same time, you feel like just being at the end of a long crossing of some sort of desert, and you see the oasis at the end of it. So it's a very nice period in this sense. And I think that we should also be grateful to all the people who had this vision and the dream just to make it. Absolutely. I think that aiming at the progression that we have decided just to have in such a way that we can have two things at the same time. Run the machine at safe energy and give the community a real reach in physics. 3.5 TV meets exactly, per beam, meets exactly these two requirements. I think that we have just to use this old Latin motto. Latin were saying festina lente, which means move fast, slowly. And we have just to be doing like that, because LHC is such a complicated and powerful machine, we cannot afford just to take shortcuts. Will not forgive us for taking a shortcut, as the experience, unfortunately, has already shown us. So 3.5 TV per beam is a very good energy for opening up the door to the new things, and at the same time learn how just to use this machine. Well, that's difficult to tell. A first very good result, in my opinion, I would not like just to play it too low, will be just to rediscover all the standard model. That would be already an incredible result as a first run for LHC. But I think that nature maybe is encouraging us just to be a bit more ambitious than that. For sure, we will set a new limit, or we might even discover first hint of supersymmetry, if it is there, above the limit set by Fermilab after 1 year of running. Of course, it will take us some time before we convince ourselves that we are looking at new phenomena. We have just to make sure that it's not old phenomena that we don't understand. Well, sure. I mean, Fermilab is doing an exceptional job, just pulling out all the physics information out of the data which are pouring out of a machine that is working in a very nice way now. So they have a real chance just to see the first hints of a Higgs boson. They have a real chance just to trip on everything, something which might be new in there. But I think that I don't see it as a bad thing. I think, on the contrary, that is a good thing in many respects. First of all, because our community is a largely integrated community. So in a sense, as much as when Fermilab started, the community slowly was moving from CERN. At the time there was the proton-antiproton collider at the SPS, moved toward the new machine. And this is, we see it happening also in the case of the Tevatron and the LHC. And this movement does not only bring more resources, it brings more intelligence to the field, because all the experience gained at the Tevatron is available for LHC now. So it's, I think that in a sense it's good that in this world we have competition and collaboration working very tightly together. The LHC is for sure the most complicated machine ever tried before. That's probably true for every new machine coming into the operation. In this case, it's particularly true because This machine is extreme in many respects, extreme for its intrinsic difficulty, 27 kilometers of superfluid helium, very high beam power, very high energy density, very little, zero margin for errors. So this is a very, very difficult machine. So think how tight are the conditions for your machine protection system, because you cannot afford just to lose this type of beam, which has several megajoule of power. Instead, it will have 360 megajoule of power when we will be running at full intensity and this machine. You cannot afford just to make mistakes, simply. So this is a very complicated machine, but the experience up to now has shown that we can run it. And I'm pretty sure that we will be running it successfully in the next year. Data taking is also a new set of, we are entering in a new realm, in a sense, because the amount of data, the amount of information that we have to process before deciding just to put it to tape and for storage and for later analysis is enormous. Every experiment is processing, before taking a decision in the trigger, more information that is traveling in all the telecommunication network in the world. So it's an incredible thing. But again, this year of forced stop was very useful for the experiment, because they could prepare, exercise all the systems using cosmic rays, using simulated runs, and the results are very encouraging, are very promising. I don't think that these will be the major things which will hinder the exploitation of the machine. I think that the experiments are in a state of readiness which is unprecedented. I think that this machine is a machine which is one of the machine which is setting, marking somehow a frontier, because for many reasons. It will be marking a frontier. It has very good chance just to be marking a frontier in terms of its physics output, because nature tells us that there is something important happening in the energy scale where LHC will be centered. It is important because it might really change our vision of nature if some of the things that we are expecting are really there. And it might even be more, because they might be giving us things that we don't expect, which would be even more exciting. You know, there is always this story that there are the known unknowns, but what really changes this field is the unknown unknowns, and we are hoping for many unknown unknowns. The other thing for which this machine is very important is because it has marked clearly what will be the future of this field if we want just to have a future. This is the first machine which is closed just to be a global enterprise. We see it very much in the experiments, which are now large collaboration at a level which we didn't see before. And even this machine has been built not only with the cooperation of all the European states, which was very high, but also with the cooperation of US, of Japan, and it is marking the way in which this field probably will have just to organize in the future if we want just to have a future. There are some obvious ones. Already the fact that we have succeeded just to build in such a massive way superconducting magnet has already gone back to the society, because this technology has already migrated into the magnets which are used for diagnostic, for the nuclear magnetic resonance, for instance. Magnets which are used every day by doctors and which are much better than they were 10 or 20 years before. There are a lot of other things which have gone immediately to the society, like for instance the fact that our vision of the grid has started the process in which people have started understanding that the network now is so powerful that you can start using the network like the bus of a computer. So you can disperse your computer over the network and use storage and CPU capabilities all overall big geographic area. This is changing, for instance, the way in which you can have large computing projects for drug research, for doing better simulation of the weather and things like that. It has changed even in the commodities thing, because the push for more performing computers and more performing objects has for sure influenced even the commodity market and has given a very important indication for better computer and cheaper computers. It is influencing then the society in a thing which is is much less apparent, but is, in my opinion, the biggest value. Through an enterprise like LHC, which is most possibly the most ambitious scientific enterprise mankind has tried up to now, you have trained thousands at this point of scientists and engineers which have gone back to their society, because not all of them, unfortunately, could stay at CERN. And these people are bringing to the society a mentality which is very, very forward-oriented and to the problem solving, and a lot of skills in very high technology. And this is, in my opinion, the thing that immediately you give back to the society.